Alright, everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So I was not expecting to do another Alteration review like again for the third time already. So we have a surprise drop. So we have the Miss Sazabi as a surprise drop over here. So this unit itself is a so this unit actually did not even get that much screen time, and we're getting it as like a limited time suit. So I'm not even like at this point in time, like in terms of limited suit, they don't really mind putting anything on a spot. So this unit is piloted by Aina from the Gundam Build Fighter series, like the OG one, like the one that came out back in was it 2013, something like that, like the OG one, right? So this one appeared on the very last episode, or no, this unit actually appeared in one of those episodes where they had that Gunpla festival, whatever, where Aina and then what was the other girl's name? I forgot her name. Basically, like she's like the main character, like that girl that's always next to that main character. I forgot her name, but anyways, they were at that festival, and then Aina was like, no, let me actually try to build my own Gunpla because like she basically been using that the modified Quibbly, the one she'd be using in tournament. So she was like, let me build something, and there she is. She built this Miss Sazabi over here. So this overall unit, basically, this is, I don't know, like in terms of anime, I don't think it did that much in terms of screen time wise. Not too much action going on. I think at the end of the day, got blasted by that one photon cannon esque. It's that colony cannon basically. So yeah, if you guys want to check out, do check out maybe like the last three episodes, maybe starting from like episode 22, and then you can definitely see it on episode 25 as they were all heading towards that. They're basically trying to destroy that Plasky particle stones because that stone got out of control because they were basically overusing it. So, but all right. Anyways, going back to the review over here. So in terms of the Misazibi over here, I just noticed that there's no backpack. I was like, I'm surely there's a backpack, but it's actually attached onto the leg. So I'm just like, okay, that's cool, I guess. So all right, so let's kind of start off the head part, or let's actually go over one of the best part of the set. Probably my recommendation in terms of alteration. To begin with, I think the torso is definitely the best part out of the set. Definitely, because this is going with the meta right now with EXK Kuda reduced over here. So this one is actually really good. And not only do you have that, look at the secondary parts here. You also do get some up EXQ effects as well. So that is going to be really nice. So this one is going to be locking you down to high mobility. So for me personally, I can't really benefit from that. So I'm not really going to bend let's say what kind of word tag I'm currently using for my CD build. So this is definitely for those who have been investing into like a high mobility build. So this is definitely for you guys over here. So yeah, this is probably one of the best part of the set, and then maybe the next best one you can definitely target maybe the twin blade over here. So this one is going to be that 40% trade as well. So this one is going to be targeting your high mobility as well. So if you guys have been trying to look for something for your high mobility build, this is definitely something to go for as well. So high mobility, close combat. So these two parts are definitely, I will have to say, the main highlight of the parts anyway, or the main highlight of the set. So continue back from the so let me show you guys where they're standing in terms of the torso wise. So torso does have some pretty good trait, or the good stat actually. Trait definitely really good, but I was surprised it actually made it up that high, because if you guys do take a quick look right now, you guys can see that the original melee attack prior to that 40% change gear is only 5,000. Like if you compare to something like these over here, they have some pretty good moderate, let's say, raw melee attack to start things out with, but this one definitely carries it away with that enormous amount, like 10k melee defense. Like, are you kidding me? Okay, but look at that armor as well, 11.2k. That's crazy. Like, I don't know why this overall unit just have a lot of armor and just a lot of melee defense. So yeah. All right, in terms of your blade real quick, so your dual blade melee weapon, so it's gonna be these two over here. So they basically have the same stat, and this one does carry that 40% trait like we mentioned already, so not bad. So this one is like right up here as well, so that is actually really good. So some of the other 40% trait, do we have any up here? Oh, Kosora. Okay, hello, Kosora, huh? So okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it really depends on what kind of word tag you guys are looking at. So this would lock you to close combat, maybe a little bit more comfortable in terms of building around just melee build in general. Close high mobility, maybe a very niche build, to be honest. Like I can't really benefit from it because I'm not using that. So if I would ask you, like, if you ask me, do I want to go for that? I would have to say, maybe not, because of the restriction in a way. Close combat may be a little bit more easier to build around in a way. And this one does have a little bit higher melee attack. This one is also a twin blade, so in terms of trying to fight your sub slot, if you don't have a second copy of that, your sub slot is going to be very limited in terms of trying to get the maximum output. Let's say this one for example is on a saber category. So saber category, in terms of having big scale subslot option, there's plenty already, so that is not that bad. So those are just definitely some options you guys can be looking at. And even if you do scroll down slightly a little bit, what is the next 40% trade up in here? Is that pretty much it? So you have this one, and there's no way that's only two. Okay, I guess that's it. So moving back to the head part now. So how good is the head, or how is the head doing right now? So the head part, I think the most noticeable thing is definitely some armor wise right there. 8600, definitely really good. 8000, not, yeah, that's definitely really good. Almost at 9k, like almost there. So you will definitely find that high mobility and then for computer are definitely the two main tab for this overall build. I think for computer, amongst like the build fighter series, the even the build divers and build diver re-rise, I think these are all common word tags. So I don't think in this current state of the game, I feel like having for computer is not a bad option if you do have to go that route. Because if you do fight in a map where it is like for computer specifically, you will definitely get an extra boosting, which is going to be more than your regular word tag. So it's not the worst thing possible, right? But definitely right out the gate is not going to be that good unless you're fighting that specific map. So yeah, other than that, the overall word tag wise, yeah, maybe not so good, because this one is specifically for fighting type advantage. So I think this is when you have advantage over someone, then you gain that EXQ power boosting right there. And then infighters, so this one is definitely locking into infighters. So if you guys are not using an infighter job license, this one is definitely not going to be for you guys. And do keep that in mind, this is going to be to that 30 to a 35 ratio. So if you guys are trying to look for something a little bit more beefier, definitely go for something like the Astral Origin, definitely really good. I think currently that is, in terms of the service star ready, that is the only 40% trait, I believe. So if you guys are using, let's say, the Phantom Head or using the Gion Ultron, I think those are definitely really good already. Despite the fact that they don't have the 7-star already, I think they should still serve pretty good if you guys don't want to go for the 7-star yet. But yeah, it's definitely not bad coming up to this stat. Very good. So the torso, we have gone over that already, so I'm not going to talk about that anymore. So moving to the arm. So my gosh, what are the three things we can see from just looking at the parameter? Like, I think the first thing that caught my eyes is definitely the armor. So this one is extremely high. So in terms of armor wise, it definitely beats over the Build Project Bell Gundam already. So bye bye. So you don't even have to go for the Bell Gundam anymore, because I think for the Build Project Bell, I think the most important part we were looking at is definitely the insane amount of armor. But this Sokai one beats it, by a lot. And then the next thing we can kind of spot is that incredibly high armor, or that melee attack, the raw version of it, without any conversion rate. So that's actually really good. Almost at 14,000 on by itself. That is something right there for sure. And look at that melee defense, almost at 10k. Like if you add 18 more points to that, just 10k right there. So we really busted. So yeah, but the portrait wise, the portrait, this is where it gets a little bit like, what were they doing? So the first portrait, from what people have tested out and what I have learned from people, they say that this one is actually like in terms of the enemy melee cut right here. So this actually reduces. So let's say your enemy have some power reduction to you, so you can actually erase some of that. So let's say what that means is like, let me go to my tank build. So let's say I have some of these, right? I have some like shooting power reduced with it, but this one we're talking about melee. So I have some melee power reduced by 24%. So that portrait I think basically takes away that. So I'll have 0%. So not really 0% from the overall build, but that would negate 40% out of this build. So that's actually quite powerful anyway. If you talk about the hard content like arena, the 3v3 arena, if you do faces off against someone that have maybe a good amount of like melee reduction, that you can kind of take that away. But that's a very niche trait that I don't think is going to be too beneficial in terms of looking at it from a competitive standpoint. I mean, comparative standpoint, definitely really good. But if you're looking at it at the content of PvE specifically, not really. Maybe you can use it when you have, let's say, limited time multi-mission boss. So I don't even know how that will actually work. I don't think that is it? I don't know if that will like mitigate some of their defense, but I don't think so. So I think overall this portrait is like not that good in a way. It's just the option of using it is very niche. So yeah, even though this arm does have some pretty high stat, but the usability, the portrait is not gonna cut it. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. So if that is the case, I'll probably not even go for the alteration, just simply for that. Secondary portrait is actually definitely really good. It's having that 40% trait, but let's say this is like your only option, like you pull this part and you're like a new player, you don't have anything else. I mean, at that point in time, definitely go for it because you don't have any other option. But in terms of going further for investment, like putting your nippers, like putting this into a rope hanger, I would have to say probably not in a way. I guess hold off onto it until maybe this one can be or can have a good sub partner. I mean, I think the best sub partner, if you don't care too much about the bonus, like what kind of sub bonus you can get, these two can be really good. Oh, not this one, but this one, the Extant Riser. You do have two same vortex, so you can at least do get up to a 25% sub bonuses. So that's still not bad in a way. But other than that, I wouldn't really go for the arm. So moving over to the legs. So the leg, again, look at those armor. Those armor are kind of crazy. And defensive almost a 10k again. That's actually really nice. So that is definitely great to see. In terms of the leg, I initially thought again this one was not going to make it into the top roster because of how low the original melee attack is. But that right here definitely carried it away by the insane amount of melee defense. So okay, whereas wise how mobility for computer again, so not your most optimal tag in a way. But let's see what EX does. So we have a sweet spin kick over here. So I don't have the actual EX skill. I don't even know how it actually looks like, but this one does raise your melee attack up by 19%. So that definitely can help you out in terms of trying to deal more damage because this unit itself does already have a built-in buff EX skill effects. So that is definitely going to raise this one up to a 49% on total. So that's actually not bad. So in conjunction with more buff EX skill effects, you can definitely raise this up by the maximum of trade possible out there. So not bad actually, but I'm just not sure how effective the leg EX skill is. Can you get cancelled out or is still able to take damage in the middle of your animation wise? So yeah, because this one is pretty sure one of those shorter like non-iframes, so you or maybe are bound to take hits. So yeah, in terms of the EX skill, I don't know. Let me do check. Do you have to alterate it to gain that B plus power? I'm pretty sure you do actually. The leg port should be this one, and then yeah, you do have to alterate it because you're only looking at a C power. Yeah, you would definitely have to alterate it. You gain a little bit more power in a way. So yeah, so if you want to alterate it simply for the stat, definitely go for that. I don't think it's that bad of an option. But if you're talking about, oh, I just want to use EX skill, I think that too you would have to alterate, unfortunately, because it's only a C power. C power is just not going to cut it. So anything above B plus, they're definitely going to be really, really solid. So this one I gone over already. This one's definitely really good. Got some pretty good armor wise. Armor is pretty good. Pretty good stat overall. So no complaints on that one right there. Moving on the saber category one, this one's gonna be the sweet sword. So what is this one doing? So this one is gonna give you a melee power boosting when you are attacking with beam. So basically anything with beam EX skill, like using like a beam melee weapon trees, you're gonna get that right there. And then secondary portrait, when a saber category equipped, squad job gauge boosted by 20% or job rate increased by 20%. I don't personally see how useful this can be if you're talking about I mean, this would definitely be useful for those who are not able to get their job grade up to at least the 4-star rating, because once you do have, let's say, your job grade at least for the job gear, at least like a 4-star rating, you notice that in terms of your job gauge is already going to be roughly about 90% ish. So you guys shouldn't have any trouble getting that off on the spot, like once the battle start. But if you're someone who is new that wants to get the limit break off because to benefit from the custom ability or just to get a little more damage, this one can definitely help out. In terms of this one, I would definitely put this one on the ally aspect of it, because this, do keep that in mind, this is for squad users only. So your main suit can still be whatever you're using, and then in terms of your allies, it can pack a lot of supporting role traits. So this one is definitely part of that supporting role package right there. So this one is definitely not bad. Anyway, if you're going for that let's say the aspect of like, oh, I want to increase my job grades in the match and all that. So I mean, it can be helpful in a way, but other than that, this is definitely going to be one of those portrait where it's more for the gimmick. It's not really going to be that useful overall in a way. So if you want to use it, definitely alterate it. But if you don't see a point of alterating it, you don't see yourself using your limit break that much, this is definitely something. Or let's say if you are able to get your limit break on the spot, like up and going already, you don't need this right here. So alright, so moving on to the last thing over here. So I didn't even go over the melee weapon, have I? So melee weapon style is gonna be a swallow like these over here. So yeah, it's gonna be like one of the high end one as well. So that's actually really good. So that's why I'm just like, man, they really had us in the first half. Like they released this bunker on the Thursday banner, and then they released those two mediocre ones on Tuesday. Like, come on, man, that's wrong. That is just wrong. So alright, so the last but not least, we do have a shield. And then the shield does not have any effects in terms of EX skills, so this is just gonna be your plain on EX skills, so not much to talk about from that. I mean the set is definitely really high, but I think it's definitely getting carried away with the insane amount of, let's say, melee defense at 11.2k. That's too much. Actually, that's really good. Armor wise is definitely respectable as well. I think it's one of the high end tier ones you're looking at as well, so not bad actually. But the melee attack is definitely slacking right there. It's not that high on itself. So in terms of the shield, I don't know if you want to alterate it or not. This one is purely depends on if you want to use this one over here. If you have any of these shoes right here, like if you have the code Sorum, let's say for example, or you have these one, even these one right here, I think you don't need this one in a way, because for computer it's definitely not the best word type possible combo you're looking at. This one is definitely the best one out of the set, definitely. Maybe even the Seda one, because this one is a big scale, and I don't know if it has property to make it into like a good melee option in a way. You do have high firepower, so you can definitely bridge from that. So I mean, this one is just a very niche option in a way for computer. Come on, man, like this one would be good, but let's say if you're someone who is not able to get that 40% change gear, I think at the end of the day you won't really benefit from, you just won't benefit from that much, because we're taking 40% of that 11,000 and add it on that. If you only have like a 10%, for example, you're not going to be adding on that much in a way. So it just really depends on what kind of change gear you have for all these parts right here. Definitely once you do get up to that 40%, you would definitely see an enormous change to that. But other than that, this one I do hold and say, yeah, probably don't alterate it, even though the stat is really that good. But I just feel like the option in terms of the word tag is not that good right there. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it. So do let me know, how do you guys feel about the Miss Sazabi over here? Definitely the torso and then the twin blade, they're definitely the best pick of the set. All the other one, not that they're not good, but I think they are pretty much replaced by some other parts already. But you cannot forget the fact that in terms of all the parts, the armor is extremely good, their defense is extremely good as well. So we talk about, let's say, a specific arena mode where we have the defense, like that bonus build for example, where they ask you to have the highest, let's say, melee attack to get a better multiplier for that week. It will definitely be useful in that respect, but in terms of that, I don't think anyone wants to go for all those kind of investment for a single week arena. But that's going to be an option for those who are able to afford it, obviously. But for that being said, that's going to be pretty much it in terms of the Miss Sazabi Alteration review. So I'll catch you guys all on the next one.